thank you everyone for joining. For those of you in the crowd, if you don't know already, I'm Hunter, the community manager over here at Arbitrum, and today we're joined by the folks over at Kromatika DAO, the MetaDex aggregator, essentially on Arbitrum. How's it going, guys?
Well, all good. We are, for the most of us, in Eastern Europe. So for us, that's already the afternoon. Yeah, also the evening. Let's say mostly. But yeah, we had a good day. We have a lot of exciting stuff which are ongoing in Chromatica side, and we are very happy to join you here for this AMA. So thanks for the invite.
Of course, yeah, no, totally. Again, pleasure to have you guys here as well. I think maybe just just for those who don't know, joined by crypto insider here that's on the Chromatica account, as well as Stefan over here on their own account. And I think we're still waiting on one more person, but they'll join midway. But with that being said, maybe what we can start off with just it's kind of like an overview. Like, can you give us a bit of an insider? Your name is Insider, get it? A bit of an insider on how Chromatica started.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's a project which is something like 1 year old. We are mostly focused on DEX trading specificity. And yeah, we wanted to offer a solution for the problem that DEX trader faced. So the idea is born, as I said, 1 year ago within a hackathon, the hackathon of Chainlink, 2021 one. And yeah, that's mostly that. So the next step was to create token, to create a contract, and so on. Um, so the token has been created within a fair launch, initially on the Ethereum layer one. We didn't wanted to deal with venture capital or whales or this kind of stuff. So we just made a fair launch, dropped the liquidity on Uniswap, and burned the liquidity proof. So that was a real fair launch since the day one. And yeah, 1 year after, we have developed a lot of different items, and here we are.
Awesome, yeah. No, and it's definitely nice to get a little bit of a background because I know you know certain projects I know like sometimes just like launch directly on Arbitrum when they first come up with their ideas. Some of them are kind of migrants over from Ethereum to layer two. So it's definitely nice to have like a little bit of an overview on like you know the history of a project and then kind of to see where they're going.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then so yeah, actually we're deployed on the Ethereum layer one, Arbitrum also on layer two, other, and yeah, well, we need well, we still have a lot of things to bring, I assume, but yeah, time will say what we can bring.
Awesome. I think maybe like the other next thing, kind of obvious thing to talk about real quick as well, is the whole idea of the DAO. So like more recently, for those of you who have not been following the kind of Arbitrum DeFi space as well as some of the native protocols like Chromatica, you guys have recently kind of migrated towards the DAO approach. Can you give me maybe like a little bit of an idea on why that was, and like kind of where potentially like the founders or the initial people who kind of developed the protocol are now?
Yeah, sure. Well, actually, the founders are not here anymore. They were part of initially, of course, when they brought the idea, but now we wanted really to move to a DAO protocol. So they were, of course, bringing a lot of ID initially, but now we decided to switch the model to really give the power to the community. So should I explain a bit what is a DAO, or can we just assume that anyone is a bit familiar with that?
I think we can assume everyone's familiar with it. If not, they can ask the question afterwards.
All right. Um, yeah, well, uh, the, yeah, maybe I can explain to you a bit what is the process of the DAO. So in Chromatica, we really believe in the decentralization in a certain way. Um, So the DAO was something. The DAO governance is something which is in our roadmap since a lot of time, and we fulfilled that milestone some days ago actually. Um, so yeah, without going too deeply into the detail, um, you can submit some proposal. You have delegates, which are, let's say, representative of the community, and these delegates will review this proposal, and then we'll vote on this proposal to bring some new pieces of elements within Kromatika protocol. That's a bit how it works.
I think what's also interesting, maybe to like kind of touch upon, is maybe just like if you're familiar, like the whole like kind of like the whole idea of kind of the founders maybe handing over kind of power to the community, because it's definitely not every day that at least on our Twitter Spaces that we speak with protocols that don't have a structure in terms of like the founding team being there and like having a kind of hierarchy of roles. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's perfectly makes sense. And so, what on what sides would you like to have a bit more detail?
Just generally like the whole like idea behind why they maybe wanted to say, all right, let's just kind of give it out to the community. So I mean, usually there's like like the vested interest in like keeping ownership of a protocol or a DAO or whatever is because there's usually economic upside. But in this case, I guess they forewent that. You know?
Sorry, I didn't uh, get the end of the of the sentence. Can you please repeat?
Yeah, my bad. Just generally asking like you know what was the reason for them to give up ownership of the DAO essentially or the project to the DAO? Like why essentially?
May I answer this question?
Go for it.
Uh, well, the idea for DAO was uh, existing quite a while ago, and due to our, let's say, tasks and chores that we needed to do, it was kind of postponed. But since our previous founders of the projects, they are true Web3 enthusiasts, they believe in decentralization, and actually they operated in that manner. So they delivered their ultimate vision. They have set the foundation and the fundamentals of the project and the core features that need to be done. And afterwards, when the time has come, when the resources have freed upon us, we have more resources to switch to DAO. That has become a reality. Actually, our team is quite excited about that because it allows us to scale a bit to offer the to open the project to the community. As you know, probably we updated our roadmap. We now call it build plan or build plan. So we have kind of let's say tasks or ideas that need to be done, and they are open on the work platform. So anyone, literally everyone, can do some task, submit a proposal, how should it be implemented, and if approved by the community, that will go live. So the main idea was opening the project and scaling it.
Beautiful. Yes. No, I mean that makes complete sense. um, no, and it's definitely something that I think like it's as I mentioned earlier, it's not something that I think is done lightly, obviously, right? Because I mean, again, most projects start off with some sort of like hierarchy of like leadership, um, and then going the DAO route, I think really, truly takes like a certain type of like team and community to like finally accept. Okay, we're gonna hand everything off and trust that it'll, given the current people within our community, things will continue to run both smoothly and still advance, obviously, right? Because the last thing you want is a project to just stop releasing things, right? So
Absolutely.
yeah, no, totally. And that being said, probably makes even more sense now to talk about what Chromatica actually is in terms of the protocol. I mentioned that it was a MetaDex aggregator, but maybe you guys can give maybe a little more light on like what people can use Kromatika for.
Yeah, sure. Kromatika currently offers two main features as its protocol advantages, let's say. Kromatika protocol introduces the possibility for traders to use the swap feature, which in essence it's implemented as aggregator. I'm not familiar if you know what aggregator is, but we kind of utilize advanced aggregation technique, which means there are aggregators like 1inch, 0x, and etc. They aggregate the liquidity from one or more, I mean multiple liquidity sources. What we do, we aggregate from aggregators. So we're kind of offering the best way swap rates and swap quotes around. Moreover, Kromatika protocol offers the possibility for placing limit orders on top of Uniswap v3. As we all know, Uniswap does not offer limit orders. Limit orders are not a new concept. They exist in centralized exchanges and also to some degree on decentralized exchanges as well, but they're kind of limited on DEXs. Limit orders on Kromatika are also called fees earning limit order or FILA because of the way they're implemented. Using Kromatika limit orders, a user can avoid front running bots and they also avoid slippage entirely because, as I said, limit orders are implemented as concentrated liquidity. The whole process is for executing limit orders is fully automated thanks to Chainlink keepers. More or less, that's Kromatika. Right now, we are in discussions for releasing a new feature called gasless trading, but I will come up to that more later.
Yeah, that was great. Thanks for the insight there. I think I think like limit orders specifically are something I don't personally see too often in DeFi, and it's definitely something that like definitely needed, of course, versus just like regular kind of like automated market makers kind of having their types of orders. I guess. Uh, is there? I don't know if this even makes sense if there's not that many generally available, but like, is there kind of a difference in how Chromatica treats limit orders and like how it differs from any other current protocols out there that offers them?
Yeah, absolutely. Chromatica is not the first protocol which is implementing limit orders, which work on top of Uniswap. However, most of the protocols which implemented limit orders in a way that they work like a delayed swaps. They're using bots and execute the swap when the price is reached. What is unique with Chromatica, as I previously mentioned, is that it uses Uniswap v3 concept, which is called concentrated liquidity. So basically, it places liquidity at a given price tick. This smart concept is a mix between the traditional order book concept and the more sophisticated AMMM concept, and Chromatica combines them both in a new hybrid protocol. Other than other than that, the benefits I mentioned a minute ago, which is no bot attack, no swap fee, or no price slippage. Chromatica employs Chainlink keepers to monitor the price 24/7, so you don't have to sit in front of the monitor, remove liquidity, or anything like that. As soon as the price crosses the tick, your target strike prices, I mean your target price strikes, the limit order is filled completely, 100% filled, and it's very quick and fully automated. This is something new and different compared to most DEXs that operate delayed swap type mechanism for limit orders. The reason why this is not very regular feature is because kind of advanced trading technique, and the average trader usually panics or trades immediately or without general plan or target price plan. Moreover, the protocol is powered by its own utility ERC20 token, which is called KROM. Now let me share another interesting thing about Kromatika protocol. By implementing smart limit orders on Uniswap, users actually get between 3 and maybe up to 15% more for their limit trade than they more than any other limit order protocol. Yes. So now, user will save a lot of headaches because there is no bot attacks, no swap fees, no price slippage, and the order is fully filled, which means it is a very profitable outcome. In addition to all of this, the user will earn an extra in terms of the fees on top of his trade.
Exactly, and the fee, the fee that you have on top of that, the extra fees that you will earn from your limit order are really based on the fact that when you place your limit order, you become a liquidity provider within the pool without experiencing any impermanent losses because you're just providing the liquidity in one side of the pool. Um, so yes, as a liquidity provider, as you probably know, you will earn some fees, and that's all where the benefit is in that sense. So that's why, as Mike just mentioned, you can get some extra fees in top of what you will get from your limit order.
Very interesting. And so, like, in terms of like, okay, so you have regular limit orders, and oh, so you have limit orders, and you have like the regular kind of swaps that you can make on any kind of protocol, I mean, including, for example, on UniV3. Is there like a difference in how like those are like kind of makes like an obvious question, but is there a difference in how those are placed? Is it literally you're kind of just setting like a specific price target and it executes at that price if there's enough liquidity, or like if there isn't enough liquidity, then like how does that even work per se?
As you know, concentrate the liquidity, uh, the whole liquidity range is between zero and infinity. So the liquidity pool is separated in multiple ticks. The width of the ticks is quite dependent on the liquidity pool itself. It's not something that is constant, but when you place liquidity at a given price, that price falls under some tick. I mean, imagine it like an x-axis. Uh, one tick is from point zero to one per se. So if you want to put a liquidity on Ethereum at the current minimum price, it will fall somewhere in that range. So when the price moves apart from that tick 0 to 1, actually your limit order is filled by default, and also it is processed by the chainlink keepers. So in regards to your question, there are ticks, and that's how the liquidity pools operate. So when the tick is uh, processed, I mean, when the price target is moved beyond the tick, the limit order is filled.
Okay, that makes sense, and that's why I guess it's only able to be built on UniV3, right?
Absolutely. Uni V3, V2 works entirely different.
Interesting. So then, where is the like the okay, where does the Chrome token like take play a role, I guess, in this entire kind of process? Is it just a governance token like for the DAO, or is there some sort of process within that kind of limit order trading there that it kind of fits into?
So let me join now, please. Hi, it's Danny. Sorry for the delay. So let me take your question. So the Kromatika token is used for the dApp. So you need to execute a limit order on our platform. You need to deposit amount of KROM token to pay the service fee. This service fee will then be paid to the Chainlink relayers. So basically, you set a limit order on our dApp, just choosing the token you want to swap or you want to put the liquidity into Uniswap V3, and then you choose the target for the other token, and then you set the limit order or providing the liquidity to Uniswap v3. So, but to proceed the order, you need to deposit KROM into the dApp too, because KROM is the service fee or the paid token for the service fee. And you can see this in the dashboard plat screen or in the dashboard screen. So if you deposited KROM into the platform, your limit order will be shown in the list as proceeding. If you haven't funded the debt with your KROM, they will be showing like it's not proceeding. You need to deposit a small amount of KROM, and this minimum balance will be shown in when you create the limit order, or even after if you already have deposited the liquidity to V3, it will be shown in the dashboard under minimum balance. And this is the minimum balance for this kind of current network gas fee. So it's always nice to have a little bit on top to be sure your limit order will be executed, even if the market maybe changes a little bit. So it's always nice to have some KROM above the minimum balance of a Kromatika token. So this is basically the main job our token currently needs to do, besides the DAO feature we are currently working on.
So would I be correct in saying that like Chrome is needed to use the platform necessarily, or is it more or less more of just like a like an added benefit to use it, in the dashboard?
Currently, it's needed to execute the limit order because the service fee will be taken from the KROM token. So you definitely need to deposit the KROM into the protocol. Otherwise, you can still provide liquidity to the Uniswap v3, but your order won't be executed. So that's the issue. But
Okay.
yeah, but we visualized it well, so people should recognize they would need a small amount of Kromatika token to deposit into the tab.
Okay. No. Yeah. No. That totally makes sense. And so I guess generally, like the whole idea is that like you're able to kind of have this similar experience to like like similar to what a centralized exchange would provide. But obviously, with being on chain and I guess avoiding like I guess potentially like MEV or anything like that. Is that included anywhere in there? Like MEV? Is that I just throw that in there for no reason, or is it like does limit orders have any impact on MEV? I guess is my question there, like front running or bot attacks or anything like that.
Um, Due to the fact that you deposit liquidity to the Uniswap v3 pool, so you're kind of like a liquidity provider, you won't get front runs because you set your target to a specific range of liquidity. So the bots can do whatever they want in the trading range. However, but they won't affect your order because your order will only get executed if your set target prices are reached. So you can't get front run or sandwich because your target, maybe you will need to wait longer if some bot attack is happening on the price pool, but your order will just get executed once your target is hit.
Totally got you there. I think I then maybe like the uh an additional question off of that is like, so because you're using Uni v3, and traditionally like fees are kind of given to like the liquidity providers on there, um you know you're technically just using the same smart contracts, right? So like the same LPs would still get that those fees, right? Or is there some sort of like extra kind of vehicle mechanism that like exists on the Chromatica platform?
I'm not sure I got the question correctly, but we are kind of interacting with the V3 pool, so we have no separate like liquidity pool. So it all interacts with Uniswap.
So essentially, if you're providing liquidity to Uniswap, you're providing liquidity to Chromatica.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I mentioned that Chromatica limit orders work on top of Uniswap v3, and that's why they are called fees earning limit order or FILA. they're not implemented like the late swap.
Got you. That makes sense. Yeah, just being redundant here. I think that in that case, like, one question we ask all projects, uh, generally, like, what's like the team stance? Is it, I guess, the DAO stance, I should say, actually, on like, collaborations with the community, as in, like, have you guys collaborated with any different projects before, and like, if not formally, like, have there been any kind of interactions between Arbitrum based projects and Chromatica?
Yeah, well, actually, there are different people which are using the limit order. We have, so far for now, 600 user, and something like 1,000 of limit order which has been proceed. So you have, of course, the let's say the trader which are in their home and playing with the DApp and so on. But we also have some protocol which starts to use the or limit order to manage a bit the treasury or manage the liquidity. So that's, by example, we have one project which is a part of the Arbitrum ecosystem, which is Umami Finance, which come to us and explain that they were using our protocol really to manage the treasury. So we just dropped an article a couple of days ago explaining a bit how they do that. So we invite also all the other protocol if they have some treasury to manage to use it.
That's great. My mommy's definitely a favorite over here. Like, do you guys envision yourselves like collaborating with any more projects in the future? And if you can't say, by the way, that's fine. Alpha is alpha, but you know,
Yeah, of course we have. We are already in touch with other protocol. For now, let's say that's mostly things which are in the background. That's backstage, so we can't really disclose it. But yeah, indeed, in the future we have in mind to collaborate with more protocols for that purpose.
awesome. I think as well. Then I'd love to hear a little bit more about one of the technical features I think you'd mentioned earlier, called, I think it was gasless transactions. You mentioned, and if that's the case, like, how would those even work? And like, how would that, yeah, like, how would that work essentially, just generally?
Gasless is a very interesting concept which allows DEX users to have a centralized exchange experience. Using gasless mode, the user does not have to hold any Ethereum in order to make swaps. So let me repeat, the user does not have to hold any Ethereum, so he can trade without any Ethereum. Network fees still exist, and as you know, nobody can avoid them. But we have found a way around that. In the background, there is a relayer which pays for the gas fees on behalf of the user. The relayer charges the gas fee amount by deducting from the tokens the user would eventually receive after the swap. This concept is actually used by the centralized exchanges. So, in practice, any ERC20 token, which is transferable, could be used as a payment token. This does not include honeypot tokens for obvious reasons. There are many benefits to this mechanism, especially partnership opportunities for many protocols, because, as you know, any ERC20 token can be used as a payment token for this mechanism. So let's make an example. If I want to trade one Ethereum and convert it to 1,300 USDC, the relayer will charge zero point 0.1 USDC to cover the gas fees. If the transaction fee is 0.1, if it's 1 cent. So what does it make? The user tries to trade up some pair. He chooses pair A, pair B, chooses the amount. In our case, chooses Ethereum and USDC. He wants to swap one Ethereum for USDC, and agrees to a certain quote. After that, he makes the signed transaction that he agrees to the quote and sends it to the relayer. Relayer executes the transaction and pays on behalf of the user. And let's say the transaction fee is 1 cent. Uh, the relayer charges 1 cent, but he takes 1 cent from USDC amount or any output token amount. It could be Link token, it could be KROM token, any transferable ERC20 token.
And this is possible to do on Arbitrum, yes? That sounds like an obvious question, but like I guess I've just never heard of this process being used before.
Yeah, absolutely. It could be done on Arbitrum, on any network. Right now, it is in development. Soon we will release a live beta version, and afterward we will proceed with the DAO process. But yeah, ultimately we want to deploy this feature to all of our chains. I mean, the chains that Kromatika is participating in.
Really interesting, yeah, and you know, I think that's what's so cool about having about I guess like being able to like have like an ecosystem full of different types of DeFi projects, and it's the same reason why like you know people always ask like what's the point of having so many swapping platforms or so many perpetual platforms on one chain, just because like every platform is bringing something different to the table. And then obviously in this case, Chromatica, you know, is doing exactly the same thing here, right? Bringing this like, this entirely new feature, at least that I've never heard of, uh, to the Arbitrum ecosystem via their swapping platform, which is great. It's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the main benefits of the decentralization and blockchain in general is that it allows many projects to innovate, especially if they're open source. And yeah, you're right about the feature. It's quite new. Actually, I'm not sure that I have found some protocol that it has implemented this feature. So it's fairly new.
I think I'd like to pivot a little bit more towards the DAO side now of Chromatica. And you know, I'm operating currently with the assumption that you know all three of you are part of the Chromatica DAO in this case. Um, like, what's it like being part of the kind of like the contributor portion of the DAO? Is you know, I mean, I've been in a DAO myself before, yeah, per se, but like you know, for the most part, I feel like the work you know, like contributing to a DAO is a lot different than working in a traditional project or company.
Yeah, I will take this question. Um, yeah, basically, one of the biggest points for me personally also is kind of the contribution from all over the world. Like it's no closed area. We're from different countries all over the world, and so we are basically also from the beginning bring different point of views into this project. And besides this fact, we also share different experiences, different skills, and we can all put it together into the further progress for this project. So everyone can bring in what they are good in. And this is kind of motivating because you have so many different angles and views our team and the community brings in. And that's kind of the cool experience of the DAO to see a lot of people from all over the world we would never meet or we would never see, we would never talk, and we can all contribute to this one perfect reason. And the reason why we contribute here is to make Chromatica Finance a well-known one-stop decentralized exchange. So I think we have a nice target here, and we have a good reason to work together like we do.
That was beautiful. You brought tears to my eyes there, Danny. um, and then okay, so with that being said, is the like how do you like how does one decide, I guess, to be part of the DAO? Like, as in, like you know, obviously you have like more so like you know the core members, for example, I'm sure you guys that are up here, but you also have just like the general community that general community of people that maybe want to contribute to Kromatika? Like, how are they able to do that? I guess in a way, if they're not already a core member.
Yeah. So basically, as we turned into a DAO, we also wanted to give our community a platform where they can contribute, or where they can see tasks to fulfill and to bring their skills into it. And that's why we have chosen D-Work as a Web3 native project management tool. And there we have a kind of web page or a page for Kromatika Finance, and people can check there our current tasks, our ongoing tasks, and they can contribute. They could or they can just connect to the DAO there and just claim tasks and fulfill the tasks. Yeah, some tasks got some rewards. Some tasks are just for like activity points. So like you see, okay, this kind of community member is contributing and get more points and more points and more activity. So it's all kind of like putting things together into this into this eWork page section, I would call it. And yeah, this is the one platform we have chosen to provide work or to provide community, to provide the tasks. But we are also wanted to, like we said, move to the DAO for a decision kind of making, not only taking tasks and work together, but to make decisions together. And that's why we have chosen to let KROM token be the government token for our project. And so communities or community members can contribute within their shareholder or their token amount and vote on ongoing proposals. And they also can propose some new features, some ideas, some partnerships within this DAO structure. And yeah, so everyone can contribute with decisions, with ideas, with their work, with their skills, and bring it all together into the project and benefit for all.
Very interesting, and I've heard of D-Work before myself, actually. Um, I think like my question there would be then like, all right, so you got this DAO work, you have this like this platform that manages tasks, for example. Like, how does one maybe follow that from like a non-contributor standpoint? As in, like, if I like want to know what the roadmap is, for example, like how does one find that out other than just like I guess looking at the list of tasks?
Yeah, we have different sources. The first source and the easiest one is to just join our homepage, kromatika.finance. And there you have a kind of section called Build Plan. So, and in this Build Plan, you can see our already reached targets and our ongoing tasks for the future ahead. And but this is no static kind of plan, but it's a plan. We already brought ideas together, and we want to bring this to an finishing idea. But people through the DAO can still bring in some ideas, can still bring in some proposals, and this plan is like growing. It's like a living plan where different ideas can come together, and this is no close up, it's no final decision. It's just all about the community. But for the first side, this is the big picture we yet have, but it can change like every day if a voting passes and other ideas come together, and we will list it then there.
Awesome, and yeah, just for people who are interested in taking a look at, by the way, at that platform, I pinned it in the space above, so you can kind of check it out there, the D-Work platform. Um, like, okay, so like from that point, and I like, I hope it's fine that we're delving more into like the DAO side of stuff. But like, can you maybe like explain a little bit more of the process of the like of like maybe like submitting a proposal and like like the role that delegates maybe have and stuff like that within the DAO? Like how does one become a delegate and like how do proposal submissions work and stuff like that?
So I think you've mentioned the two main elements there. So we have in one side the delegate and in the other side the proposal. So in a nutshell, well, the community submits a proposal, the delegates, so the representative can review it. And if you have at least 3 delegates with enough voting power, who decides to go ahead, then the proposal goes to the next stage, to the voting, and then the delegates can start to vote on that. So maybe I can explain a bit how you can become a delegate. So actually, anyone can become a delegate. So there is no minimum KROM token amount which is required. So it's really open to everyone. The delegates then can vote to approve proposal if they have at least 50,000 of KROM token. This can either be their own or the older delegate their token to the voting power too. So the people who decide for the delegate can give their voting power to the delegate. Of course, there is no transfer of token. You just say, okay, I have my token. I don't want to be a delegate, but I trust this guy. I give my power to that guy. So in this way, you will be a speaker for a group of older by being a delegate. So anyone who wants to represent the community, who wants to help Kromatika to evolve, or I don't know, who wants to help with decision making can become a delegate. Then, as I said, the other part is related to the proposal. So maybe I can explain also how you can submit proposal. So that's like for delegates. So there is no minimum required token amount. The proposal is posted on our Discord. And we have a specific section, governance discussion. It is discussed openly for 1 week. You can also amend the proposal, you can review it, and so on. And then, as I said, if 3 delegates with total voting power of each of 50k KROM decides to go ahead, then the proposal just move to the voting section. Then after there is the vote, which is decided by the different delegates. You can abstain, you can vote for, you can vote against. And then at the end, we do the count. If you have more yes than anything else, then proposal is approved, and then the team executes the decision from the community.
Got you. Okay, no, that definitely makes sense there. I think like the DAO structure is very interesting. Kind of, I think it's gonna be a very interesting kind of like really structure for any project to take going forward. Like I'm sure you guys are familiar with like especially recently with like the sanction stuff and like everything else going on from like a legal perspective. It's like decentralizing quicker and faster is definitely the is definitely kind of the move right now that I think a lot of projects are kind of like considering.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like that from all angles, including socially and like technically. I think it's just going to be really important for most projects moving forward. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. I mean, the more we are decentralized, let's say in a certain way, the less you have regulation, because that's really something which is behind of the eye of the community. The community is driving the project, is making the decision. This is not like if you have an entity with a CEO which is living in a specific country with the rule of that country. No, this is fully decentralized. The power is spread everywhere within all the countries, within all the different contributors who would like to contribute. So yeah, but that's also the sense of the crypto. The main idea of the crypto was to have a kind of decentralization way of working, way of thinking, and so on. So for us, moving to the DAO was definitely an obvious step.
I definitely agree with you on that one. Um, I think with that being said, what I'll do now is since technically we kind of went over the roadmap question, I think we can probably bring a person or two up. And there's actually someone who's been waiting here for a little while. Let's hope they're still here. Gray Pixel, one of the builders at Umami. Let's see if they're
Ah, nice.
right on schedule. Well, let's see. I don't know because they requested a little while ago.
Hey, sorry. It seems like when you when you made me a speaker, I missed a bit there. It kind of cuts out for a second.
Oh, no worries. I was saying that. Like, I know you raised your hand a little while ago, so I'm very impressed that you're still
Yeah,
here.
no, it's cool. Thanks. I've been listening with interest. Yeah, I'm a Kromatika user, and I really like the limit orders. I love the way that the limit orders earn fees because you're you're basically an LP for the duration of it. One of the questions I have really is, will you ever add functionality or add a feature where you can have your limit order distribute the liquidity across multiple ticks and then have the liquidity withdrawn once it drops out the bottom like it does normally? Because right now I've got some limit orders set low on some tokens that I want to buy in the hopes that they drop, and it would be nice to be able to earn fees while the price is on the way down as well as just whilst it's in that very last tick.
I will probably let MacFred answer to that if he's available still.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, my mic was muted. Well, yeah, actually, we have discussed about this feature. I think it was brought up before by a certain community member. So yeah, this is actually in consideration, and we are looking on ways how to best implement this feature. We have one or two ideas on how that should go, but yeah, it's definitely on my mind, on our mind. I'm sorry. So yeah, absolutely. But one thing is, I mean, we have to juggle with our priorities. But yeah,
Yeah, of course.
we intend to do it.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that was my only question, really.
Thank you for asking.
Awesome. Thank you for coming on, Gray. I think that's all I see from a request standpoint on my end. So unless I'm missing something, just in case, since we are kind of hitting the 1 hour mark here, is there? I know we pretty much answered this question already, but like just to reiterate for those maybe who didn't hear it, what's the best way for someone to kind of get involved in Kromatika DAO and like contribute if they want to?
The best way, first of all, would be to just join our Telegram group, our Twitter connection, or our Twitter page, and then after that, people can join our DWork platform and join the DAO there, and we will just keep in touch with everyone new is joining, and our Telegram moderators and our Discord moderators are every time around to ask any questions related to the DA, to the dev, to the community, to the KROM token. So everyone that is interested will get answers ASAP. So, and after that, they can decide on joining the task, joining the community, and joining the project Kromatika Finance.
Awesome. Well, in that case, yeah, I appreciate you guys for coming on today. Look forward to seeing what you do within the Arbitrum ecosystem, as well as any additional collabs you guys may end up doing as well. We're always happy to support any type of DAO project or what have you, building an ecosystem.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your support, and thank you for the time being here and having those nice chat.
Indeed, thanks a lot for your time.
Likewise. Have a good one, y'all.
Thanks. Same to you.
The same. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.